Okay, welcome everyone to this session on Zoom, this video conferencing platform that is really easy to use. And in a way, you might think, why would we want to bother with a training session on it? But there are so many features and so many great things you can do with Zoom. I just thought, how useful would that be for people to see it in its entirety? Now, we've only got 15 minutes, so I might not be able to show you absolutely everything, but I will put links to a lot of the Zoom tutorials because there's some amazing free resources on Zoom. Now, the beauty of Zoom is that you can invite one person to join you and have a private conversation, or you can invite 100 people to join you. Now, obviously, if it's going to be a lot of people, then there's certain things you'll want to do, like you'll want to mute people when they arrive, etc. So there's certain management things that you need to be aware of. But let's, without further ado, get a little bit into the interface. I've got a short PowerPoint presentation here as well, and I would like to just say quickly an introduction to Phil, who's joining us. So would you just say hello, Phil?
Hi there, great to be here. Thanks, Elene. Really looking forward to this.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. And I know it's going to be particularly relevant, you know, for you and the groups that you work with. This platform could help you tremendously. So, you know, I do appreciate that it's for any community groups out there, or businesses, in fact.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just see. So at the minute, when you're inside Zoom, and I don't think as an outsider you'll be able to see all of this, but trust me, there's a little bar at the bottom which gives you the opportunity to mute yourself, stop your video, to invite people in, to join you, to manage people. You know, it might be you want to kick somebody out of the platform because they've said something inappropriate. So you can have those controls. You can do things like you can make other people a host, and you can share your screen. And I've got a few things I want to share with you in this mini training session, including a little video. Well, let's have a look. Well, I might not be able to show the whole thing because of copyright, but I'll just introduce it to you. And at any time you can stop and pause the recordings, and those recordings, if you are running training sessions, can then be used to upload to YouTube or whatever other video hosting platform you use. So all in all, it's just pretty comprehensive. It's like other platforms, and you know, you could argue what's better about Zoom compared to Skype, for example, and they are quite comparable, but I haven't actually ever been in a Skype call where there's been 50 people, whereas I've been in a couple of large Zoom kind of breakout rooms, meeting rooms, if you want to say that. So, and each time I've used it over the last couple of weeks, I've been testing it out quite a bit, and it's pretty solid. The quality of the video is excellent. And inside this Zoom meeting, not from the outside, but inside, we have a chat facility. So I could chat to individual members privately, or I could do a group chat. I could post various different things like documents for sharing. So that is a little bit of the overview of the platform. And I'm, as you can see behind me, I've got the Northern Lights. Phil, I think, is some remote lake in Windermere or something. I don't know. Where are you, Phil?
Curtain Creek in Marsden, in Suffolk.
Oh, there you go then. So you can upload your own images, or you can take one of the ones that they provide you with, which is what I've done. I haven't got the Northern Lights behind me. Anyway, now let me go into the first thing, which is I want to share my screen with you, and I've put together a little mini PowerPoint that I'd like to show you. So I'm going to share screen, and there are lots of options here for sharing screens. Like you can optimize it to make sure that videos run smoothly. You can have like a whiteboard that is overlaid on top of your screen. And if you are one of those people that uses an iPhone or an iPad, then you can connect with your phone or your iPad. I can't do that because I'm a Samsung gal, so it's not available to me, but that is another feature. So I'm just going to share my regular screen with you. So that is the pricing plan for Zoom. Mostly it's free, but we'll come back and look at that later, because the thing that I'm keen to share with you is my PowerPoint. There we are. It's all about Zoom. It's only about 9 slides, so honestly, it's not going to be too onerous, I hope. So that is a lovely screenshot of how, when people join you, and there's a lot of people there joining in, they can either be shown in what we call speaker view, when you have like the one main person on the screen, or I'm just going to mute you, Phil, a minute, because I think there's a little bit of background. So either speaker view, where one person is on the screen, or gallery view, when you can see all the participants. And if you've got more than 25, then it goes on to another page. And, you know, from there, you can see all of those people are all muted, but you could potentially unmute them if you wanted to bring a particular person in. So that's the 2 views, and that's usually shown as a little icon at the top right, speaker view or gallery view. Excellent. And that's what speaker view is more like. So you can have adjusted icons, like earlier on, Phil and I were in speaker view, but when I come out of this presentation, I'm going to switch it over so that you can see Phil and I side by side. And, you know, it's not a big deal, but I think being able to control the meeting is important. You need to know what the facilities are rather than floundering. And when you have new people joining, there'll be panic because people won't know what to do. They'll take maybe a few minutes to settle in, and then it will be fine. But as you can see from this slide, you can see at the bottom there, you've got the mute, hide the video buttons, all of that available. And at the top there, speaker view. Let me just see. No, I was going to see if I could do my overlay whiteboard, but I'll do that later. I'm not going to do that now, in the middle, multitasking. So there we are, that's speaker view, and there I was with a lovely background. It looks like I was in Thailand. I have been to Thailand recently, but that is definitely one of these green screen backgrounds, and there's about 5 or 6 of them that you can select from, or you can upload your own picture. So you can have a little bit of fun with this, as well as it being a very serious business tool. So when you have your list of participants joining you, there are lots of things that you can do. You can ask one of your participants to share their screen and share a video. You can make somebody a co-host. They can have the controls over muting people. You can allow people to record the screen as well. There's something called closed captioning as well, where I think that's so that you can kind of have the text coming up as people are speaking, those that, you know, have got sight problems. So there's all of that, or hearing problems, I should say. And the other thing is you could rename your participants. Why you do that, I'm not sure, but you can have some fun with that as well. And you can put people on hold, and you can remove them. And there on the right-hand side are all the facilities really about the group chat, you know, where you can message everyone, message an individual, send files, even save the chat. So if a lot of good work was discussed in a meeting, then all of the conversation can be saved and can be shared with others outside of Zoom. So that's quite useful to see everything there. And when I hit the share button, these are the options. I can share my desktop, I can share a whiteboard. And if, as I said to you, you're an iPhone or an iPad user, you can share that. I have 2 screens here. So for me, it shows as screen 1 and screen 2. But most people probably only have the 1 screen. But you know, there are more options. And this little button down here that says share computer sound. That's when, if you want to run a video, you need to make sure that's ticked, because then it will pick up the sound from the computer, and that's will be what will be shared and what will be recorded. Settings. Okay, what about the settings? Well, there are all kinds of different settings available. You know, for example, do you want Zoom to start when you start Windows? Yeah, maybe. Do you use dual monitors? Ask people to confirm when they're leaving meetings. There are so many different options. You can even have reaction skin tones. I've just changed mine to something more in the middle, but I mean, there's ridiculous settings there, but obviously they decided to put that in. I'm not going to go through all the settings, but when you do have your first ever Zoom meeting, you know, before you open up the meeting to everyone, go through all the different settings and see. There's so many of them, and you'll find which ones you think are good for you. For example, you've got the virtual background is there. And also, if you're recording, where do you want the recording to be saved to? All righty, so it's got to be done. It has got to be done. And this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to share with you a video. So here's a video from YouTube. And I'm just going to play the first little bit of it so you can see how it works, and you can hear the sound is picked up as well. It's a brilliant Fools and Horses, BBC comedy, great. So let's just watch the first little bit of it.
You see, nowadays, these modern Eurobirds, they go for the more mature men who've made it in life.
Yeah? Is that why we're having no luck?
I haven't started yet, just building myself up to it.
Yeah, well, you better hurry up and be closing time soon.
All right, all right.
I'm not going to show the rest of it in case I get a copyright slap on me, but it was quite interesting when I was sharing that with you just then. I clicked on my screen to go and look at something else, and the video stopped. So if you are going to be sharing a video, you have to keep your hands away from any other, from the mouse, from the keyboard, because it will stop the video in its track. So you have to be prepared to let it flow. Good. So imagine that, in this day and age where we're all self-isolating, and you wanted to kind of share a video with some friends, and maybe even have the chats going at the same time. How good would that be? Help you to feel less alone. So I think, there's all kinds of different uses for this. And I'm just going to go on to the next slide. This is my final slide. I had to put this in because I came across this. We're doing this particularly because of the coronavirus. So this woman said, "You said you were sick." No, I said I have a case of corona. Phil, I'm going to have to unmute you now so you can respond.
It's a good one.
It's great, that, isn't it? It is very good.
Yeah.
So that is the end of my, slide show presentation for you. And I think right now, what would be really useful is if, Phil, you had any questions, that might be relevant. Let me just, first of all, I want to put you side by side. So there we are, we're side by side now. So any questions?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Elaine, so far. Really interested. Could you take us through how to show a film again, please, the steps?
Okay then. So what I'll do then is I'm going to just share something random from YouTube so you can see, and I'll go slowly. So first of all, what I need to do is share my screen with you. So okay. I hit share screen, hit the share button. So now you can see that Zoom pricing plan that I did promise to go through.
Yeah.
Now I'm going on to YouTube, and I am going to pick this video, which I absolutely love. I'm going to have the adverts first, of course. Now,
anything on your computer, you need to get Grammarly.
I write pretty much all day.
Mute this, skip ads, straightforward. Yes. So, wow, that's an interesting one. I've just had a little message to come up to say my internet is unstable.
Oh,
So if I lose you all, so be it. Hopefully won't before we finish. And I know we're getting to the end of the time now as well. So let me just take a look and show you the pricing, because I think that is useful. So I'm going to share screen 2, and share. Zoom is free. I don't think you need to pay for it, because you get incredible amount of kind of services, features for the free package. So let me just go through what you get for free. You can host up to 1,000 participants. You can have unlimited
100.
Oh, did I say 1,000? I did, didn't
Yeah.
I? Now that would be a miracle. Sorry, 100. Thank you, Phil. And you can have unlimited one-to-one meetings, so they can go on for hours. But if you've got, when the third person comes and joins you, the clock starts ticking, and you can only have 40 minutes on the unpaid platform. But today I've set up 3 meetings, so that's fine. You're not restricted. There's online support. You can have it integrating with your Outlook and Google if you want to put the appointments automatically in your calendar. And you've got all those controls where you can kind of throw people out, mute people, etc. Yeah, if you want to go up to the Pro plan, it's £12 a month. You can get more participants, longer meetings, I guess, is the key thing. But all I'm saying to you is that the free account is adequate for most people, I am sure. Don't you, Phil? Yeah. So,
yeah.
And there's also, we'll just quickly talk about, I haven't been able to test it because my account isn't set up for it, but there's things called breakout rooms, and that's something that's of interest to you, isn't it, Phil?
Yes, it is. Be useful for small discussions after a presentation.
Yes. Yeah. And I have heard that if you needed that, so say you had 20 people in a meeting and you wanted to send 5 of them off to have a private discussion, you could add them to a breakout group and you could bring them back in when you're ready. But yeah. I haven't got that facility on my Zoom at the moment, but the Zoom company have suggested that you get in touch with them if you want that added to your account.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Brilliant. So I think we're done there. I'm really delighted with this. Thank you very much for your interest. And if you have any further questions, just get in touch. Happy to help.
Brilliant. Thanks, Elene. It's really cool.